Hello, everyone. I am Father Mike Ignatiuk, pastor at St. John Paul II Parish on the south side of Milwaukee. I'm addressing this reflection to our parishioners, but also to anyone who happens to join us in viewing this reflection. Our time of staying safe at home has been extended. As this time moves on, the new normal becomes routine. And the routine can easily slip into boredom. We cannot let that happen. We have also passed through the great 3 days of Holy Week and the grand celebration of Easter. By now, I'm sure some have packed away their Easter baskets and the bunnies that decorated our homes. But Easter is not over. As you know, we begin most masses of the Easter season at our parish by reminding our parishioners that we have prepared for the 40 days of Lent. The least we can do is celebrate for the 50 days of the Easter season. So, happy Easter, everyone. We are faced with the challenge of living a new normal that is not normal, and finding a routine that will keep our most important values strong, while reinforcing in our families what we hold most dear. That is the problem with boredom. It leads to a sense of vagueness and complacency that easily lets what we hold most dear slip from the center of our lives. It takes more effort to fight to keep our lives focused and centered when we are bored than when someone disagrees with us or confronts us. The old saying was, there are no atheists in foxholes. In other words, when push comes to shove and we are in a desperate situation, it is easy to believe because we are forced to take a stand. However, when time goes on and boredom sets in, the much stronger and subtler temptation is to begin to forget our priorities and to lose focus. Now that our stay-at-home isolation is set to continue another month and the grand feast of Easter is over, we cannot just shrink back to a normal that is not normal. We must decide for ourselves what is important in our lives and act to make that the center of our time at home with our family. It is my sincere hope that you will make prayer one of those priorities. Prayer as a family. I have often quoted that the parents are the primary catechist of their children, and that the first experience of church we have is the domestic church, that is the church of the home. This week in my reflection, I want to encourage all the families of our parish to pray consciously together. There are 6 prayers that parents traditionally have taught their children before they come to religious education or Catholic school. These are simply the Sign of the Cross, the Our Father, the Hail Mary, the Glory Be, the Grace Before Meals, and a night prayer, often, Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep. I have been a priest long enough to know that not all families teach their children all 6 of these prayers, but it is my hope that most Catholic families teach at least some of them to their children before they reach school age. It is one of my fond hopes that this period of extended family time caused by the pandemic can boost the cause of families praying together. This can take 2 forms. The first is to set aside time for the family to attend Mass together, either on television or via the internet. Our Archbishop and the auxiliary bishops of our Archdiocese will be televising a Mass in English from St. John Cathedral at 11 a.m. on Sunday on Channel 6 TV. I will be live streaming a 4:30 p.m. Mass Saturday in English, and Father Esteban will live stream at 11:30 a.m. on Sunday in Spanish. Both will be on Facebook. The English Mass will also be available on YouTube after I can upload the video, probably later Saturday evening. Setting aside time to watch one of these Masses can be a beautiful benefit of this extended period of staying safe at home. The second form is setting a new pattern or renewing an old one of family prayer. This could be a meal prayer before supper or a time once a week where families sit down and pray together. It is the example of the parents' prayerfulness that leaves the greatest impression on children, not just the words or the memorization. I want to share with you a story from my youth that has come to mean more to me over the years. Every so often, my parents would take my brother and I for a ride on Sunday afternoon. My sister was already married, and so it was just the two of us at home with my parents. Sometimes my aunt and uncle were included in these trips. Sometimes they were just rides. Other times they were to a restaurant, but oftentimes they were to a church. Those churches were often special places of prayer, like Holy Hill or St. Joseph's Basilica. After a long car ride, my brother and I were normally a little antsy, like most young boys. As we arrived at the church, my dad would always remind us, now kneel down and say 3 Our Fathers, 3 Hail Marys, and 3 Glory Bees, and make a wish. I always remember that admonition when I enter a church for the first time. As an adult, I came to understand the make a wish as to really mean to mention a special intention. I also began to wonder if this was just a way to calm some overly energetic little boys. But then I went to Rome for the first time. In Rome, churches are on every street corner, much as there are corner bars on most street corners of Milwaukee's South Side. My friends and I began to wander the streets of Rome, stopping in any church whose doors were open. Inside, I would always hear my father's voice saying, 3 Our Fathers, 3 Hail Marys, 3 Glory Bees. What was merely sightseeing was transformed into the most wonderful, prayerful experience. Since that trip, I have started to use what I have come to call the 3-3-3 whenever I need to refocus my faith. Under stress, when words fail me in prayer, when I am distracted, these 3 prayers repeated 3 times each always seem to help me find my center, where God is waiting. One recommendation: try with each repetition to pay closer attention than the last. Soon you will be paying attention to God rather than the world around you. As we move into the Easter season, especially when our regular routines are so out of sync, it is easy to forget to put God first in prayer. Again, I encourage you to view Mass and pray along on television or the internet. But most of all, I want to encourage you to use this opportunity to pray together as a family, and for parents to pass on to their children how important God is to them. I hope you will join me on Saturday at 4:30 p.m. or Father Esteban at 11:30 a.m. on Sunday on Facebook, or join one of our bishops on Channel 6 TV at 11 a.m. on Sunday. Until then, please stay safe, stay healthy, and know that we are truly blessed. I am your pastor, Father Mike.